I rub my eyes. Look around myself, huh? Magnificent surrounding Himalayas. Oh, I flood my lungs with this crisp Himalayan air. Whew. Oh, space out on the fog, undulating, rolling across this old weathered monastery built in 1911. Oh, yeah. I'm 21. Strong, confident, bold, and absolutely clear with myself from the womb to the present moment. Whew. Mhm. Well, that's when a young runaway from the Dalai Lama's camp in Dharamsala, a guy named Dorje, he split there. It was a little too strict for him. Kind of wanted to smoke a bunch of hashish and not get like a hard word about it and this, that, and the other thing. So Dorje shows up, and so my situation dramatically changes because I have an interpreter. He speaks basic English. And I can receive instruction from His Eminence, Tuksay Rinpoche. I mean, I've been getting it all telepathically anyway. Why? Because I meditate right above the actual main temple, and they've got long horns. Tibetans, huh? Huge cymbals. Kind of like these shanais, oboes, Tibetan oboes, shrill. And drums. Yeah, they got drums with two heads, little leather clappers, bling, bling, bling. Yeah, I mean, how am I supposed to get some sleep? I'm so fortunate to be sitting in this benign, grounded Tibetan force field. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, at this time, my teacher, Tuksay Rinpoche, he's 55. Back in 1969, and so now he's not here anymore. That's where he is. I bardoed out. Just one of those Tibetan paradise realms. Yeah. Yeah, he's 55 at this time, and the head of the monastery, a double tukul with a half twist, is Gwalwang, and he's 6. Our leader is 6 years old, special kid. Never fights. Ears look Martian. And he's the 12th reincarnation of somebody. In other words, his spirit has inhabited 12 different human bodies, starting in 1161 AD. Yeah, he never gets uptight. The 12th, Gwalwang Drukpa, and he served gourmet food every day. That means he gets rice every day. Whereas our common monks, we get rice once a week and a kind of soup with flour globules floating in it, malnutrition soup. I'm lucky to be alive today to tell you this story. 12th Wuling Drukpa, Tibetan hero of the whole story. Yeah, gifted child, Chitre Monastery. Now he's like 60 years old and world famous. Gwalwang speaks fluent, sophisticated English. And he's got millions of followers on, his website. Because I really enjoy vanity. Can't get enough of that. Was the young Gwalwang watching me when I planted the 50 apple trees around the monastery? Amuses me to think so, because as an adult, Gwalwang set the Guinness Book of Records, and he didn't even drink Guinness. He didn't drink anything except yak butter tea. get off. Uh, yeah. Why was he in the Guinness Book of Records? Because he planted 100,000 trees without stopping on one occasion. Well, he had 9,800 helpers. Yeah. Anyway, the United Nations has named Gwalwang the guardian of the Himalayas. Yeah, and sometimes I wonder, these two detailed cosmological maps that the Tibetans downloaded. Was it downloaded through him, and I was just like a coolie? Were they using me as a porter, as a messenger? If so, fine. I mean, transport two treasure scrolls. They don't weigh much. Down to earth, divine porter. I got flesh on my bones, and all I am is a porter for an amazing, awesome, cosmic spirit. Well, young Gwalwang, 6-year-old ruler of Chitrigumpa, he sits on a little miniature ornate throne in the main residence. And I have fun tossing a large rubber ball with him, like an exercise ball. And boy, does he ever like his red tricycle. A gift to him left by the incorrigated Russian-American Dharma seeker named Zina Rudchevsky. Zina. International socialite and heiress, rich kid, huh? At 22, she's in all the papers as the flame of Marlon Brando in Paris. Hello. Last Tango in Paris, Marlon Brando, with Xena on the side. However, when she got to be 33, she became fascinated with theosophy. Madame Blavatsky, Shimla, hill stations, Himalayas. So in 1965, she traveled to India. Mm-hmm. And she stormed the ramparts of Tibetan Buddhism. Whether they were ready or not, she showed up at Gum Monastery in Darjeeling, the monastery where they told me, take a hike. They didn't say that to her, though, because, Bhagavan Das led her to this situation, like he led Ram Das to his guru, named Karoli Baba. Yeah, Bhagavan Das, famous kirtan player, and like me, he landed in Europe and made it to India with just $40 in his pocket and a guitar. Yeah. She shows up at Gum Monastery and insists that the two young lamas there, Tibetan refugee lamas, Lama Zopa and Lama Yeshe, teach her Tibetan Buddhism. And she rents a house there, a fancy house, Villa Altamont. And every day for 9 months, she absorbs the real behind the veil Tibetan Buddhism, Vajrayana, from these two young lamas. And wow, are they intrigued by her persistence, sincerity, and huge white female Caucasian body. Yeah. And Tibetans, wily survivors, and of course they enjoyed her largesse. Throw a few rupees around, some Tibetan refugee monks. You can sneak off to that barley beer tent when nobody's looking. Huh? Mm-hmm. Xena took her vows and became a Buddhist monk in 1968, way early days, a year before myself, and about the time that Robert Thurman also became a monk, uh, famous translator of Tibetan works, Robert Thurman. Mm, mm, mm. You know what? I really have to thank Xena for warming up the greater Tibetan community around Darjeeling. There's going to be freaked out Western Dharma seekers wanting the real Jews coming into town and insisting on instructions. Yeah. Uh, and this is what made Dorothy's acid-fueled dramatic appearance like, oops, here comes another Xena. Dukje Rinpoche instructs me in classical Buddhism, but apparently I'm not a good student. Yeah. Why? Well, yet I observe his basic ground rule to always be honest with him and others. Yeah. Uh, and well, what's going on here? Tuxe is instructing me to visualize the wrathful deities, and these are horrible images to imprint. I mean, they hold like skulls of blood, and the necklaces are little skulls, and they're prancing on the corpses of. He looks like Shiva. Don't do that to Shiva. Blood dripping everywhere, holding a half skull of dripping blood. Look it, I'm on the run from the Vietnam War. Don't force my face back into that stuff. Flaming skulls, demon prancing on corpses. Well, Tuxie says, yeah, and he tells me, go to your sleeping place. I could use some peace and quiet myself. And sit quietly. No farts or burps. Don't throw stuff at the other monks. And oh no, he sees my flute, and wow, I never saw him frown so much. Why? Because he says that's going to distract from my instructions on Buddhism, playing the flute. I don't lie to him. I just keep my mouth shut. I wander off into the deep woods to do that. Yeah, I love my bamboo flute. I'm wondering, I expect to be here for 10 years, that this is my snow cave. So I asked Tuche if I could, help out, maybe work in the kitchen. And he says, ask me again in a year. The visions themselves, the meditations themselves that cause me to experience you're coming up. You are the star of this book, Goddess Earthy. You're coming up soon. This National Geographic adventure travel thing. We'll go way beyond that. All right. Yeah, straight to the meditations, huh? So during meditation, I just wiped my mind out of my mind, made myself a blank slate, like wiping chalk off a blackboard. And I would go into full lotus meditation. But after about 20 to 40 minutes, oh, my knees ached, my ankles ached. Oh, yeah. So I'd relax in the half lotus. And then after about 20 minutes, I noticed my spine clicked into place. I guess this was my chakras lining up. and I would float up. Yeah, okay. So much for technique. I spirited my perception out of my body through the top of my skull, through the roof of the attic, over the Himalayas, and beyond planet Earth herself. For sure, I trusted and followed my spirit wherever, no matter how weird the spiritual direction seemed, like the mystical explosion go to India, which resulted in me being right here at the Tibetan monastery. And why my meditations became so powerful and extraordinary is that I was sincere and confident, potent, 100%. Well, look it, up to this time in my life, and I'm just 21, reality and my perception was always monodimensional, within a single dimension. Like what you see is what you get, even on psychedelics, plus throw in a few dreams to spice up the visual trip. But this was soon to change. Thank you. Well, yeah, my spirit ascends in a natural sequence. First my spirit would reside in the brain area where it normally resides, then out the top of my skull and above the landscape, with always a little golden thread, a subliminal and kind of translucent golden thread tied to my spirit, to my body. An interesting and profound early insight was that during my beyond body meditations, while my earth body was, still existing and parked on automatic pilot in the attic, there was no necessity for me to lose any kind of awareness about my breathing, my tongue touching my palate, and so on. But I would add on another faculty of awareness, a finer faculty of perception. So I realized that this meditation scene, this is the first time I've ever got into it, was not like you're either in your body on Earth or you're spaced out way up there. It wasn't that. It was a both and. It was both you're totally aware of your body here, of it raining, and at the same time you were in a transcendent dimension, finer awareness. What was going on here, I realized, you just kind of stack on one level of awareness to another, stacks of simultaneous awareness, or more exactly, when you transcended to a higher awareness, you included the lower foundational awareness. Transcendence and inclusion of the lower, one movement. Like molecules are made out of atoms, and to be a molecule, you have to take the atoms with you. And then molecules miraculously evolved into living forms, and the living forms needed the molecules, which needed the atoms. And so it's just like a big stack of pancakes, really. So just pour syrup over the whole thing. To hell with dieting, Big stack of pancakes. Yeah. Well, okay, so let's get back to the meditation. My physical body ascending, and I would be in the form of myself, but a light body made out of particles, sparks of light, an anthropomorphic, big monkey, smarty pants, large ape type mammal, you know, and my eyes would be translocated from my physical eyes in my body to the eyes of my light body. But look, if a temple attic had caught on fire, I wouldn't have been in the least danger. I would have, what's that? Smelled smoke, got myself down the ladder with the other monks before I was endangered without, skipping a heartbeat. This is a major advantage of tripping, spacing out without drugs. You can space way out there spiritually into remote, esoteric, behind the veils, jhana realms, awareness realms, without any loss of control about your earthbound reality. So I might as well make the point here. Everything I am describing since the day I arrived in the Tibetan monastery is drug free. Okay, there might have been a little caffeine in the yak butter tea, but you know what I mean. Don't get me wrong, I'm not putting down the wise use of entheogens, but it's essential to make this unequivocal distinction. All my days in the Tibetan monastery are absolutely 100% drug-free. When I arrived at the monastery, I had about 8 beautiful spliffs of Darjeeling's finest marijuana in my Turkish cigarette case. And as I was falling asleep, I was so exhausted and out of breath from the altitude in the border jumping scene that I had nudged the cigarette case off the window ledge of Dorothy's bedroom and then forgot about it. I woke up and, well, the next morning when I set off to get the apple tree seedlings, when the Tibetan cook, with 6 fingers on one hand, brought us our tea and flatbread, the cigarette case was there. So happy to find it, but no joints inside. Who knows? Maybe the other monks were puffing away in the deep woods. I have no idea, but I took it as a sign that my time here should be absolutely drug-free. They didn't say anything. They didn't steal the cigarette case. All right, so in the temple attic, my first 5 or 6 days meditating, my spirit leaves my body, although I'm faintly in touch with it through the golden cord, and eventually my spirit lifts above Chitre Monastery, above the Himalayas, and above the earth. My spirit ascends to about where the moon orbits the earth. I look back, see the earth, then my spirit stops and I relax and reside, and my spirit sees myself as a light body of myself. Yeah. With this difference, my light body is composed of zillions of particles of colored light, sparks of light. And I couldn't clap hands with this light body because my hands would just pass right through each other. Well, soon I learned I could welcome and produce the light bodies of my friends in space. Yeah. Huh. Wow, was that fun? And sometimes I would drop down. I would go all around the earth and drop down into the homes, into the living rooms, or wherever they were, my beloved friends. They couldn't see me or hear me, but I could see and hear everything going on. Like mom and dad. Oh, our baby's in India. Oh, will he ever come home? That kind of thing. Well, to conclude this session, this is a whole story episode. It's just a big warm-up until goddess earthy appears. Um, I learned to visualize myself kind of like a dirigible, like a blimp with various cords tethering it down. My spirit wants to float up, but I have these cords attached to the blimp, me, and I can't float up until I cut the cords. Well, what are the cords made out of? you know, desires and fears. Yeah, what do I cut them with? Determination, integrity, authenticity, enthusiasm to find out the truth of the universe and myself. And for instance, let's give you some examples. If I wanted to smoke a bunch of hashish with some zadus, golden memories, I had to cut that cord or could not float up. Or, well, if I had a sexual fantasy to have a wild fuck with Dorothy, I had to cut that out. Or I could not ascend in awareness. I developed a kind of automatic letting go mechanism whenever a fear or desire tethered me to the earth and my earth body. And wow, I ran with this to the nth degree until I had no concern whatsoever how I appeared to the other monks or anybody. No more need to look cool or whatever. And, well, even a madman attacking me and thrusting a knife into my chest, killing me, no fear. Wiped out all fears of any possible action on earth, any possible desire on earth, and wow, did I ever rock it up. Cape Canaveral, Kennedy Space Center, I'm talking Tibetan launch pad. Buggy in the tropics, yeah. And out of this world. Om Mani